No, it's not trolling. I think Thala for a reason is
Thala for a reason is for respect.
cool.
Yeah.
अरे वैसा है.
बट बाइक्स की बात हुई थी, एक मिनट बाइक्स की बात हुई थी, तो आप अगर आप अपनी एक बाइक निकालो तो कितने महीने बाद आपको रिपीट करनी पड़ेगी?
ये बाइक्स बहुत हैं बट सब चलने की स्थिति में नहीं है.
तो सिर्फ बॉडी है.
बहुत है, like I have over 100 bikes,
Okay.
but not all of them are in running condition. So, जब कोविड हुआ था तो I got a chance to spend a lot of time with the bikes. So, जो मुझे पसंद थे, जिसके बारे में मुझे knowledge था, so they're like 25-30 of them, I got them back into running condition. And then उस समय deliveries वगैरह नहीं हो रही थी, but later on when the deliveries started, I said, ठीक है यार, इंजन तो अब काम कर रहा है, now make the cosmetic changes. So I did a lot of them. So if I'm right now, I'll be riding maybe 35 bikes. I can easily do that. Then there are a few vintage ones where the brake is on the other side. और vintage थोड़ा experience खराब रहा है, काफ़ी बार धक्के देने पड़े हैं, so थोड़ा डर लगता है कि रोड में कहीं अगर खराब हो गई तो what to do. So the bikes that I trust, I know that they won't left me stranded, otherwise I take it for a ride.
Vintage is also 7 letters. Just saying. It's Thala for a reason.
सर बाइक हो या प्लेयर, आप काम निकलवा ही लेते हो कुछ ना कुछ करके.
माय भाई, ये बेसबॉल का क्या ख्याल है?
जो चल रहा है अभी,
हाँ.
जो आप पहले करते थे, अब ये लोग करने लगे.
Yeah, you can give cricket any term that you want to. What we have seen is cricket has evolved. The way people are playing cricket is very different. जब बहुत पहले जब वनडे आया था तो समथिंग वाज कंसिडर्ड अ सेफ स्कोर. अब वो बोलते हैं यार ये तो 20 ओवर में भी सेफ नहीं है. सो when you give something a term, it becomes much more interesting because you start talking about it, you start relating to it. But at the end of the day, what is it? It's a way to play cricket. Some people want to play aggressive cricket. Some people want to play authentic cricket. A lot of that depends on the kind of team you have got, whether they can change the way they play that cricket. Is something that is very important. Not if there's something that can be done, not everyone can do it. Like let's say somebody like a Bumrah, he can bowl 6 Yorkers. Imagine somebody who's not able to do that. If you still ask him, he may improve over a period of time, but he may end up giving a lot of runs till that point. So what is important is to realize the strength of your team, and according to the strength of the team, you decide which is the way you want to play cricket. Maybe you want to change the way you play cricket, but it takes time. It doesn't happen that overnight you decide, अच्छा कल से हम ऐसा करेंगे. It doesn't happen. So you need to give time to individuals because they have played maybe 10, 12, 15 years of cricket since they started, and they have a certain way of playing cricket. So you need to give them that time to change the way they play their cricket.
Very nice.
Okay, you got something?
I'll go after you.
आजकल हम देख रहे थे, अभी बांग्लादेश के खिलाफ एक टेस्ट मैच था जहाँ पे वी प्लेड आवर वर्जन ऑफ व्हाटएवर वी कॉल बेसबॉल. पर माय भाई, ऐसा भी एक जमाना होगा जहाँ पे पुराने जमाने में जब टेस्ट मैच जब चलता था,
4 दिन बैटिंग चल रही है.
4 दिन एक टीम बैटिंग कर रही है. डू यू रिमेंबर एनी टेस्ट मैच वेयर यू फेल्ट लाइक कि भाई डिक्लेयर कर दे, ये हो क्या रहा है कि
आप bowling side
सबसे
में और
फिजिकली चैलेंजिंग आपको काम करना पड़ता था आपकी.
So for me, the most difficult time during a test match was the 5th day of the test match, which is the last day, and जब 100% surety है कि ये draw होने वाला है, and you still need to keep for maybe 2.5 session, and that was the most tiring. Well, you see, there's no result that is happening. You're just going through the motion. Yes, bowlers will like to take wickets. Batsmen will try to score runs, but if there's no result in the nearest future, you're like कि यार ये खत्म करके चलते हैं ना. Why do we need to be here? So I love the fact that in between, there's a big change in the way people started playing test cricket. A lot of the wickets were very juicy wickets. So let's say, if you're playing in England, Australia, South Africa, the wickets were in favor of the bowler. In India, we used to play more on the spinning track. And that's the challenge that you have to face. And you knew that, okay, if the game goes on till 4th or the 5th day, you will get a result. Imagine telling someone who doesn't know about cricket, we play over 5 days. You know, we start at 9:30, 4:30 is the scheduled end of day's play, but we play till 5 o'clock. And after 5 days, sometimes we don't get a result. You know, so that can be very, you know, for the game, it's not very nice.
Yeah.
So I love how there's more results in today's world. You know, even if you're playing only 4 days of cricket and if one day gets washed out, more often than not, still you'll get a result. So that's the beauty of Test cricket. And I feel that's how it should stay. You know, you want to get a result after 5 days, you shouldn't have a draw.
कभी कभी my bhai, when you wanna get a result in your favor, part of doing that is taking risks. And as captain, जब भी कभी आप risk लेते हो and it doesn't pay off, is there a guilt associated when you lose a match? Do you feel bad? Like how do you let go of a risk that you took and it didn't pay off? Do you think about it often?
It's like life. There are certain types of risks that you have to take. And, you know, Duncan Fletcher used to have a very nice saying, you know, their risk, it was actually tricky how he used to say it. So their risk you can afford, you cannot afford not to take, but there are certain risks you can afford not to take. You know, so it was very confusing for me, but basically what he meant is in life, there are certain times you have to take the risk. But certain times, you know, you can avoid that risk.
सुन रहे हो traders?
अच्छा FNO वाले आए हैं यार, ये रीगी का इवेंट होता है, मार्केट की आप लगा देते हो.
पिछले बार भी हुआ था ऐसे ही कुछ तो.
हाँ, मैं अब you know, अभी वेरी स्मार्ट पीपल अभी बोलेंगे बाइंग अपॉर्चुनिटी है.
Buy the dip.
भाई साहब पैसे डूब रहे हैं, आप बोल रहे बाइंग अपॉर्चुनिटी है. यू नो, एंड द ब्यूटी इज एवरी, यू नो, सेकेंड डे दे गिव अ थर्ड आइडिया कि ये कैंडल बन गया है, वो कैंडल बन गया है, अब ऐसा हो जाएगा, वैसा हो जाएगा. इट कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट थिंग्स हैपन एंड दे जस्ट स्विच ओवर. यू नो, वो भूल जाते हैं कि कल मैंने क्या बोला था. दे स्टार्ट ऑन अ डिफरेंट लेवल ओनली. सो हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू ट्रेड? ओके, जिनकी दाढ़ी सफेद हो गई है, दे नो व्हाट दे आर डूइंग. All the professional traders, yes, they'll keep trading. जो youngsters हैं, please FNO में मत घुसना, निकलना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. You know, if you really want that thrill in life और जो adrenaline का rush चाहिए ना, do some other activity. You know, don't always go in कि यार मैं आज 5,000 का लगाता हूँ, देखता हूँ क्या होगा. You know, it's not for you. The professionals, yes, they can handle it, but other than that, you know, have a lot of fun with stock. Keep it. It's not going anywhere.
FNO is knuckleball.
FNO is different level altogether. You know, nowadays when you log into the whatever app you are using, first thing it says 90% of FNO users lose their money. मैं बोलता हूँ ये 10% बाकी कौन है? So basically those, you know, 10% are the ones who are eating the 90% of us. You know, they are eating our money and they are making their money.
वाह.
Yeah, that's why I stopped.
आप चेजिंग माई भाई पे ही छोड़ देना.
हाँ.
क्रिकेट से कितनी जल्दी हम शिफ्ट हो गए ना.
नहीं, मैं वही देख रहा हूँ, आप क्रिकेट के बारे में इतने पैशनेट, स्टॉक के बारे में एकदम आपके अंदर से गुस्सा निकला.
नहीं यार, एफएनओ में लॉस होता है.
आप
स्टॉक की मैं बेस्ट बात बताता हूँ. यू नो, आई लव, सो बहुत ज़्यादा मैं न्यूज़ चैनल नहीं देखता हूँ, बट स्टॉक के देखता हूँ सवेरे एक बार क्या हो रहा है, ग्लोबली क्या हो रहा है. सो लेट्स से आई हैव अ स्टॉक विच इज़ ए. तो जस्ट फॉर रेफरेंस कि मैंने 1,000 रुपये में लिया था. सो इट गोज़ अप, समवेयर इट हैज़ गॉन टू 1,800. सो 1,800 2,000 होता है, देन इट कम्स बैक टू 1,800. नाउ द नरेशन इज, इस डिप पे ना खरीदना चाहिए. एंड आई एम लाइक, यू नो, मेरे 1,000 के 1,800 हो गए हैं, ये डिप पे जो खरीदेगा उसके बाद जो डिप आएगा वो कहाँ जाएगा?
ये है डिप पे खरीदने वाले, ये है.
So I always get worried, you know, कि ऑल टाइम हाई पे जब रिकमेंडेशन आती है ना, इसका आगे बहुत ब्राइट फ्यूचर है, अभी लेने का टाइम है. मतलब मैं नहीं ले रहा भाई, ये कहीं ये चांद पे भी चला जाए, मैं नहीं ले रहा. इट इज आउट ऑफ माय टारगेट सिस्टम, यू नो. सो बट दैट्स हाउ इट इज. यू नो, पीपल वांट टू राइड इट, बट at least with the stock, the great thing is the stock is in your account. You may have a loss 10, 15%, 20%, 25%, but if you have bought something that has the right fundamentals, you know, you won't make a big loss. You know, you'll get your money. FNO में खाता हम.
नहीं लगाएंगे FNO भाई साहब, सर ने डांट दिया.
हाँ, ये बोलेंगे भी stop loss जरूर रखना.
My bhai, did you learn who's what's the best money advice that someone gave you maybe early on in your career or
कि
you just
FNO में
figured-
मत लगाना.
FNO वाला
नहीं यार FNO तो नहीं. I feel best advice is I don't want to go with what my parents used to say about the fixed deposit because you end up losing money, you know, with the inflation and everything. You want your money to grow. Don't look for multiplication. Wherever there's multiplication, there's risk involved. So if you're conservative, the money, you know, you'll be good. The whole problem is when people start looking for multiplication. So everything has a pro and a con side. So whenever there's rewards are high, the risk also is high.
High.
So you need to be comfortable with it. And you know, if you invest right, and invest is the right word. If you invest right, you know, you'll always have money with you. And I feel if you're looking to grow the money, you'll be good. You know, you'll be doing well in life.
okay
So what's the best relationship advice you've gotten? They're waiting to troll me on this
Relationship
question.
advice.
Yeah, they're waiting. They were waiting for me to ask this question.
no,
so
not
they
at all,
can
not
make
at all.
fun.
Best relationship advice?
Best relation. I know you've said ki listen to your wife, but what else?
So how many of you are in a relationship? Not married, but in a relationship. Youngsters कोई हैं? So basically girlfriend को सिर्फ हाँ ही बोलना है. ये उधर से start होता है because it's like you know early studies. तो वहाँ से जब आप फाइनली मैरिड हो जाओगे ना, आपको हाँ हर चीज़ में बोलना पड़ता है. तो पहले से आदत डाल दोगे तो बाद में मुश्किलें नहीं आएंगी लाइफ में. यू नो सो इफ़ यू थिंक, मेरा एक और फेवरेट लाइन है, मेरी वाली अलग है. इस बात पे सारे हंसते हैं, बट आई थिंक द ब्यूटी इज once you get married or if you're in a relationship for a long time, you start understanding each other. You know, a lot of times you know what's going to happen. So in my case, in my house, I know when something is going to fall because Sakshi is moving around which table. And it happens. And that's where the relationship goes, you know. So we have been married for now 14 years, 2.5 years of dating. And you know the ins and outs. You know, the wife will know how to irritate the husband. You know, the husband will know what question is coming. Another one of the good advice is somebody asked me, okay, in a relationship, when the lady asks a question, what should you reply? So it starts with you have to be honest, you have to say the truth and everything. Once you get married and after 5, 10, 15 years, you answer so that the next question doesn't come. Right and wrong is not important. You know, next question shouldn't come. Otherwise, it keeps on coming. And another thing is when you ask one of your friend, you know, they'll be like, you know, my wife also asked the same question. So basically the faces are different, the questions are the same. And whatever I have said, it is actually 100% applicable on the man also. We also commit the same mistakes. We are also irritating. You know, we love to pull the leg, but at the same time, we are not very good when it comes to, you know, accepting the jokes on us. So I think that's why, you know, it's a perfect combination. And the essence of marriage is after 50, 55, you have kids, the kids go to maybe a college or a hostel. And that's the time you are just with, you know, with your wife and, you know, you're having whatever that companionship and, you know, you talk about the times that have gone by. So the essence will come later, but you have to survive the marriage till then, to enjoy marriage.
Surviving.
आपने कहा कि you know the men also commit mistakes and they are
Yeah.
irritating. तो आप में कौन सी qualities आपको लगता है कि your wife finds irritating about you?
Well, I think, you know, most of the things that I do irritates her. That's what relationships are for, you know. So a lot of things happen. I don't know what. So generally, we don't like to get into confrontation. You know, if the questions are tough, harsh, you know, we get up, we go somewhere, we find a place. Usually men, they'll find a corner and they'll be happy. In my case, I cannot find a corner, so I have to get into the garage. अरे मुझे वो बाइक बनानी है यार, you know, I'll forget otherwise.
वहां जाके कैंडी क्रश.
नहीं कैंडी क्रश नहीं, फिर वो बाइक में लग जाते हैं because the bike never complains. You know, even if you do it wrong, you know. I don't know why you're laughing. I'm serious. Has your
ये
bike
code
ever
है.
complained?
ये कोड बनेगा आपके नाम से अब.
No, but that's how it is, you know. And my wife now, even if I tell her, you know, okay, let's go for a ride. She's like, no. गाड़ी में जाना है तो बात करो, बाइक में मैं नहीं जाने वाली. So I'm like, happy, okay, I'll go for a ride and I'll come back.
Nice.
So if not confrontation, how does the ice break?
Sorry?
How does the ice break between two of you?
कि लड़ाई हो गई है तो
हाँ,
अभी
now we're in-
लड़ाई
हाँ.
एंड कैसे करते हो आप?
So initially, this I'm talking about 2010, 11. So initial that breaking in period. So at times she would get angry with me and she won't talk to me. She won't talk to me for 3, 4 days, 5 days. I was like, okay with it. Then she realized, if I fight, if I'm quiet, he's happier. The game plan changed. So now
घर पे
she
कैप्टन
fights.
कूल बनने की जरूरत नहीं है,
Yeah,
ठीक
yeah,
है?
she fights or we fight. That's better way to put it. So whenever we fight, she goes outside, she comes back, and as if she never fought with me. I still have it. Like, we had a fight. She's like, hardly matters. She's moving on in life.
आपको लगता है सिर्फ आप ही कूल हो क्या? आई एम ऑल्सो कूल एज क्यूकम्बर.
नहीं लेकिन सर वापस कमिंग टू कि अब तो कॉपीराइट वगैरह आ गया है, आपकी फोटो वगैरह कहीं यूज होती है, लेकिन मेरे को याद है कि मैं भोपाल में रहता था और आपका वो श्रीलंका वाली इनिंग थी, उसकी आपकी एक फोटो ऐसे दोनों हाथ हिलाते हुए 183 आपने वो फोटो कहाँ कहाँ पे छपी हुई है. वो एक बेर के पाउडर का पैकेट आता था, उस पे भी छपी हुई, 1 रुपए के 4 पैकेट आते थे, उस पे भी आपकी फोटो छपी हुई थी, आपके नाम से बेचे थे. कभी कभार ऐसा हुआ कि आप देख के खुद ही चौंक गए कि मेरी फोटो कहाँ लगा दी भाई.
लाइक 2009-2010 में आप किसी भी नाई के पास जाओ,
हाँ,
आपकी फोटो तो रहती थी वहाँ पे.
फोटो वो लंबे बाल.
I'm happy. God has been kind. I've got a lot of love and affection throughout wherever I've been, and I don't see any harm in that. So it's not like a big MNC is doing something wrong or
Yeah.
using my image to make a lot of money. So it's more from a fan's perspective. I can still understand. People may say, okay, they shouldn't use the picture in this, that, and all of that. But at the end of the day, how many can you stop?
बट आप शॉक हुए हो कभी कहीं ऐसा अपनी फोटो देख के कि ये कहाँ लगा दी?
नहीं ऐसा शॉक तो नहीं हुआ. इट टेक्स अ लॉट फॉर मी टू गेट शॉक्ड so no, I've never really got shocked, like okay ये क्या है यार.
माय भाई, ये एक पर्सनल सवाल था कि ये गोल्फ का सीन क्या है? ये सारे स्पोर्ट्समैन रिटायर होने के बाद गोल्फ क्यों खेलने लगते हैं? और आपने ट्रम्प जी को आपने जीतने दिया कि आपने वहां पर भी?
I'm quite intelligent, I've handled the team for very long. I became his partner, so
अच्छा.
so we were partners, so there was no way in the world the opposition was winning. So he won quite easily.
अच्छा.
And I don't think the other team had an option. So, but golf, I feel cricketers, I think golf is very different, because I also play golf and I've realized मेरा जो cricket का game है ना, it's very different. So for me, I have to hit the ball hard. Golf में you're not supposed to hit the ball hard. You use the club, and if you want to hit longer, you use a different club. So you basically have a nice swing. The club does the trick for you. मेरा वैसा नहीं है, मैंने जोर से मारना है. So even if I tell myself, कि नहीं बॉल रखा है, just swing, have a normal swing and hit the ball, it will go.
बट उसमें मजा आता है सर, जेन्युइनली मजा आता है, ईमानदारी
नहीं मजा आता है. First, initially, I thought it's a very boring sport.
या
Then I played. So basically, you're fighting against yourself. Whatever, let's say, you finished the game in 98 strokes. So next time when you go, you want to do a 96, 95. So you're not competing against the opposition because your handicap is set. So basically, what you are doing is you're competing against yourself. So I don't know about any other sport, or there may be not many sport where you can compete against anyone. So even against the top golfer in the world, you can play and compete because you get strokes according to your game. So he'll be giving you strokes. So let's say if he finishes in 72 strokes and you finish in 95 and your handicap is more or less, then you can still win. So the pressure is always balanced, but you have to be consistent with your game.
नाइस.
Thala for a reason. I love playing golf with Thala. मैं भाई एक स्टोरी मैंने और कुल्लू ने सुनी थी
हाँ.
about how in Dada's last test match you allowed him to last test match
लास्ट सेशन में आपने
उनको कैप्टनसी करने दी थी. उन्होंने तो एक पॉडकास्ट में मेंशन किया था. आपके एंड से हमें स्टोरी सुननी है, which is what a nice gesture. How do you think of it? And फिर आपने apparently एक बार पूछा, उन्होंने resist किया, फिर आपने दोबारा पूछा. Where did that thought come from?
Well, it's very simple. He has been one of the greatest captains that India has ever produced. So what's a better farewell you can give from your side? That's the last day he's standing on a test match field, playing the game. And, if he can say goodbye leading for a while, then why not? It doesn't really change the result of the game. So, that was the reason behind it. And I don't know whether he enjoyed it or not because it came all of a sudden. It wasn't planned that, this is what you should do. But I thought, that the best way of him, giving a farewell, leading on the field, even if it's for 15, 20 minutes, then why not?
Would you like the favor returned to you? Like, or is that something that you would like? एक तो ये handover कैसे होती है?
ऋतुराज भाई देख रहे हो कि
No,
नहीं?
but being a wicket keeper, you're always
In
the
the
vice
game.
captain of the team in the sense your hands will always move. You may not do the bowling changes, but what you're still doing is setting the field, taking the DRS call, whether it should be taken, not taken. So you're always the vice captain. So I always felt the wicket keeper is always the vice captain of the team. So you're still doing what a captain does, almost apart from taking those crucial decisions. And you're not owing up to the responsibility. The captain का tension है. I was only
Post-match
trying
तो
to
वो
help the
जाएंगे.
captain.
हाँ, ऋतु तू देख ले अभी.
मेरे तरफ से हो गया, बाकी तुम्हारा headache है.
Was April 2nd, 2011 the happiest day of your life?
It's very difficult to say whether it was that particular day or not, but it was a very memorable day, because it's very difficult to differentiate. We have had some very good cricketing moments, throughout the career as a team, as an individual player. So I would say that it was one amongst the best moments that I had. And, the more we are able to recreate that moment, and I'm not saying me as an individual, but, the Indian cricket team as a team, for the nation, that will be the best because that's what cricketers want to do. We want to contribute so that the country is able to win the big tournaments, the World Cups, the champion trophies and all the big tournaments. So it gives a sense of satisfaction, and especially if it's happening in India, 40, 50,000 people on the field, singing the song, being with you throughout, that makes it even more special.
What other day comes close?
Well, the 2007 when we won the T20 World Cup, because we had a very tough time in the 50-over World Cup the same year, in West Indies. So we were coming out of it. So the tournament was in South Africa. Once we came back, landed in Mumbai, it was cloudy, it was raining. So you're like, okay, fair enough, catch your flight and go back home. But, the reception was amazing, right from the Aero Bridge, lots of people. We don't know how the immigration happened. And we got into the double-decker bus. It was raining, but there were people on both sides of the road. So that was very memorable. Again, it was quite similar to the kind of reception the Indian team got now once they won the World Cup. So I feel, moments like these are very special, and you always cherish them, throughout your life.
Before we head
हाँ.
into the audience, Kullu, एक last
लास्ट
cricket
क्वेश्चन,
fan.
उसके बाद ऑडियंस से बात करेंगे. सर, हमने एक वीडियो देखा जिसमें आप पार्टी में गाना गा रहे हो. अगेन आपके बहुत खास फ्रेंड दीपक चहर ने डाला है वो वीडियो. तो आप जनरली पार्टीज में डू यू सिंग, एंड व्हाट आर योर 3 फेवरेट सॉन्ग्स यू सिंग इन द पार्टीज?
नहीं, मैं ऐसे पार्टीज में बहुत गाता नहीं हूँ. हाँ, जैसे टीम एनवायरनमेंट अगर है तो आई डोंट माइंड बिकॉज व्हेन यू आर द कैप्टन नोबडी सेज यू सिंग गुड और बैड. इट्स जस्ट क्वाइट, एंड दे आर ऑलवेज अंडर दैट प्रेशर. अच्छा, मैं खराब गा रहा हूँ, तू गा, चल खड़ा हो जा. I love Kishore Kumar songs, so any one of Kishore Kumar song I would love to sing at the right time. Don't say now.
नहीं नहीं, अभी नहीं बोल रहे, हम सिर्फ गाने जान रहे थे. ऐसा कुछ नहीं बोले.
But yeah, I'm a big Kishore fan, so I
आज
love.
दीपक चहर को फोन जाने वाली है.
कि तूने क्या क्या
Event के
बता
बाद
दिया.
हमें पूछना है कि और क्या क्या बोल के आया भाई.